Los Angeles Lakers and Utah Jazz make a deal here. Patrick Beverley traded to the Lakers for Taylor Horton-Tucker and Stanley Johnson. So I'm surprised the Lakers trade Taylor Horton-Tucker in a deal here. I know Patrick Beverley's a defensive wizard, but honestly, I don't know how he's going to fit with this Laker team. And him and Russell Westbrook have real-life beef. So right now, maybe Westbrook will get traded out of town, and they'll go in a different direction of the Lakers. And obviously, Beverley will be the starting point guard. So right here, Patrick Beverley last season with Minnesota had a good year and helped Minnesota get to the playoffs and win in their first round game, and then traded in the offseason to the Utah Jazz. So right here for Beverley, 9.2 points a game last season, 3.1 rebounds, 4.6 assists, and 40% from the field. So Beverley, he's not going to be a fantasy option, I believe, here with the Los Angeles Lakers team. He's going to be a real-life impact player more than a fantasy player. Obviously, he's a pest on defense. He tries to get into the head of a lot of players. And this Laker team, they need some defense and some toughness. But right now, Beverley and Westbrook obviously don't fit, and there could be another trade down the pipeline here. And in terms for the Utah Jazz, they got Beverley in the Rudy Gobert trade as a salary guy to match up in contracts. And obviously, we knew Beverley wasn't going to stay over there in Utah the whole season. And they're rebuilding, and Donovan Mitchell might be next getting traded within the next few weeks. And it's a good haul here for a guy that they weren't going to keep to get Taylor Horton-Tucker. Horton-Tucker, I think, could break out and be a guy that has fantasy value, especially in Utah, a team where he's going to get tons of minutes. And he's only 22 years old as well. So Horton-Tucker last season, 10 points a game, 2.7 assists for Tucker, 3.2 rebounds, and 41% from the field. So obviously the field goal percentage isn't good, but he's a guy that definitely could go out there and with more playing time, score at least anywhere from, I think, 13 to 18 points total per game. And he's going to get the opportunity in Utah, especially if they trade Donovan Mitchell away. That's going to open up even more playing time and more minutes here for Taylor Horton-Tucker. So I like the fantasy move here for Tucker going from the Lakers, where he had a limited role, obviously, with all the big guns over there, LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook, to now going to Utah, where he's going to be one of the main pieces and guys they're going to want to rebuild around. And Stanley Johnson, he was actually pretty decent last year, but he's a guy not having any fantasy value. So in fantasy terms, I don't think Beverley will have value, but in real life will. And for fantasy basketball, Taylor Horton-Tucker will have fantasy value. A guy I believe you could take in the later rounds, anywhere from the 10th to the 13th round. Take a flyer on him and see what he could do. And Stanley Johnson, he was just a guy that's bounced around in the former lottery pick over the last few seasons, thrown in the deal to make salaries up a little bit. So the Lakers and Jazz make a pretty interesting deal here with Beverley going to the Lakers. And we'll see what these guys could do with their teams and see if Westbrook stays on the Lakers and him and Beverley could iron things out entering the NBA season and fantasy basketball season.